My name is Chris Hunter, and I'm a candidate for the Shaker Heights School Board. I appreciate being on this video and addressing you in conjunction with the meeting we had the other night with the Shaker Action Committee. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and show you the qualifications that I believe I have for the school board. First off, I wanted to talk about the other day I was at a meeting, and there was two other individuals there. We got to talking, and it turns out they were one was on the board of a eastern suburb board of education, and the other one was running for the board of education. And they were kind of questioning why I would have any interest in running for a board of education position, because they had not had a very successful tenure out in this suburb. They indicated there was a lot of contention between the board and the teachers, between the board and the parents, and actually between the board members themselves. And I got to thinking how lucky we are in Shaker Heights to have a committed board of education that really has a good rapport with the teachers, has I think a very good communication with the parents, and really does everything they can to help support the children in the Shaker schools. And I think I'd probably bring much of the same type of philosophy to a board position with the Shaker schools. So I've been very impressed with what I've seen of the Board of Education as it currently exists in the Shaker schools. A little bit of background, which you can also find on my resume. I'm a patent attorney with Parker Hannifin Corporation here in Cleveland, have been in Shaker since 1986, bought my first house in Shaker Heights, have been pretty much a committed Shaker resident. For the last 9 years, I've been a board member of Shaker Family Center, which is now called Family Connections, right in the Sussex area. And the last 2 years, I've actually been on the as president of that board. And I think that gives me a unique opportunity to see how board members operate, how the board operates, how to work effectively and efficiently in getting a board to do what needs to be done. We've had some success with the Shaker Family Center. Many of you may have heard we recently merged with the Heights Parent Center and basically doubled our operations and have doubled the size of our organization and been able to add additional programs to assist both communities. And I think it shows that when you look for opportunities for creating efficiencies, for creating new programs, they really are out there. And I think I bring that type of philosophy to this board. I want to also say that we merged the two organizations and have not laid off anyone, but have been able to provide additional programming to both cities. I have kids in the Shaker school system, one that's graduating from Mercer, one that's graduating from the Woodbury to the middle school, and one that's finishing up the last year at the middle school. Just attended a clap out today. So I understand a lot of the issues that go on in those schools. I appreciate that I haven't been in the high school system yet, but that's coming. The education background, I have a Bachelor of Science in Physics, so I'm very interested in the technology aspects of education. It's always been around me, it's been around my kids, and I think I would bring that to the board as well. So reasons I think I'm qualified, I have some background on boards that have been successful in the past, worked successfully with executive directors and staff, and familiar with Mayor Lycan and what he's trying to accomplish with Shaker Heights. I think it's everyone's dream that Shaker Heights will be a very attractive place for people to move to, that people want to come to Shaker for the school system, for the great housing, for the great community that we have. We want to maintain that. It's one of the gems of Shaker is its schools, its housing, its community. And it's certainly a position of trust that you're given as a board member to try to maintain that. Things you could expect from me, as I'm sure you could expect from all the other qualified candidates for this position. Commitment to the organization, accountability. Right now I don't have as much background in the Board of Education as I'd like, but I think I'm a fast learner, and as with my other board responsibilities, I can come to understand the position and understand some of the issues out there fairly rapidly. Transparency has always been an issue with the board. I know in the last election, one of the board members ran particularly on trying to get more information from the Board of Education out to the parents. I think the board has done a good job in the last couple of years, and more can be done. I know issues continue to be raised that the board needs to communicate to the population what their agenda is, what their strategy is, what their conclusions are. And I have no problem with that, because this is a position of trust and you're put in here for the benefit of the population. So I think that needs to be continued and improved. I'm one that is big with building consensus. I'm not someone that would necessarily run off with my own agenda. I think it's important to get everyone on board. I feel like I'm never the smart one in the room, so I try to get everyone's consensus and understand everyone's position before making a decision. And I think that's probably a proper way to move forward, because there's obviously some very smart people that are involved with the Board of Education as well as the schools, and I certainly want to get their input before making any decisions. Of course, another few things that the Board of Education has done particularly well in the last year is to get the strategic plan finished and have the new contract with the teachers, and that is a great action, and I'm sure a lot of effort went into those two actions. With the strategic plan, from my previous board experience, I know it's important to follow through with that and make sure it's implemented, because there's probably some great thought in there and some great things that they'd like to accomplish. So I would be fully committed to implementing that strategic plan. I took a look through this strategic plan and feel that if anything, it needs to maintain a focus on the education of the kids, the academic excellence of the kids. There's nothing more important than focusing on that as far as this Board of Education is concerned. The other thing is, of course, the contract with the teachers, and it was a very generous thing that the teachers did to understand the importance of having a long-term contract with the board, and having the particular things that they gave up and things that they accepted to move forward. It really shows a commitment to the educational system. Things I see as priorities, of course, academic excellence. Number one, I'm just a stickler on academic excellence, as I'm sure the other candidates are. Focus on achievements, make sure we have a rigorous and challenging academic environment. We'd love to improve the test scores, improve the college acceptance, improve or reduce the achievement gap, improve the reputation of Shaker as a premier community because of our schools. Again, I come with a technology focus. I'm also I do a lot of work internationally, and I think I come with an international focus.